Welcome everyone to this beginning, this first night of our June 2022 Metta Sesshin. It's wonderful to come together to do this precious practice of sitting in silence, in stillness, in gladness. To support us in this Sesshin as we begin, let us acknowledge the creatures that surround us, that surround you. Acknowledging the human beings in this zendo and with us online. The human hearts that are in this zendo and with us remotely, but here all the same, present and practicing. We acknowledge the beings surrounding us outside, the trees of the forest, the grasses of the meadow, the swaying bamboo, the birds and insects, the rocks and bricks, all these beings surrounding us. And we remember that this land that we sit on has been taken care of and lived on for many ages. By the Klatskanai people this town is named after. The Chinookan peoples who traveled the river that we call Columbia and that this monastery overlooks. We remember the more recent inhabitants, the logger families who lived here and 50 years ago built this school building out of the love for their children. And we begin by remembering our being humbly grateful for the Buddhist teachings that come to us through over great distance and thousands of years, from India to China to Japan, and then even after discrimination, internment, and war, freely offered the Dharma. To all these ancestors, we pray that they are present and support our practice, and we are grateful. The word Sesshin literally means to gather in, to collect the heart-mind. One of the ways to write the word Sesshin in Japanese includes a character that contains within it 3 symbols for ear. Listening, listening, listening. followed by the character for heart-mind, sometimes translated as mind, sometimes as heart, heart-mind. So listening, this collecting, is listening to the heart-mind, listening to the heart-mind. At Sesshin, we set aside our ordinary way of being and relating to attend to the heart-mind. And in this Sesshin, we take up the practice of metta, often translated as loving kindness, or loving friendliness, or goodwill. And of course, all these are pointing to a wordlessness, a wordless emergence, experience, awareness. Metta, loving kindness, or simply love. An unconditional love, an unconditioned love. Love without an agenda, friendliness without an agenda, without the small I, me, and my agenda. And we are included in that. Loving all beings, including this being that sits on your cushion without agenda. And befriending our experience moment by moment. Can we regard our experience in, out, up, down, with unconditional acceptance? With unconditional love, from unconditioned love. And there are two approaches of loving kindness or metta practice, and both are essential. One is that of the way of intentionally turning toward metta. When we walk by someone or bow to them as we pass, we silently say, "May you be at ease." We practice with the metta phrases, may even visualize beings and practice metta with them in our heart. And when we notice the three poisons, greed, ignorance, numbing out, and especially anger, we notice and we replace with metta. We turn towards metta, an active kind of engagement. The other essential way is the practice of acceptance. Whatever arises in awareness experience, this is not the kind of putting up with my experience, but unconditional acceptance regarding our experience without agenda. And these may appear to be in conflict, active engagement or acceptance. And in Zen, we love paradox. We appreciate a paradox. And so this apparent conflict is no conflict, no struggle. Often the words we use in spiritual practice is the language of the garden. In a garden, there is a time and season of being active, taking the initiative, start the seeds, water, repot, we till the soil, fertilize, put up stakes, water, feed, prune. The garden is cultivated, encouraged, supported so that it can thrive. And there are other times in the life of that garden where it is just up to the movement of sun and season. So when in Sesshin we have the stillness and silence to really listen to the heart-mind, to practice in the way that is needed, so that the love everywhere becomes revealed like the sun coming out from the clouds.
And so we begin session right where we sit. Meeting this moment. Meeting this moment with whatever settling practice you have. And taking the opportunity to be fully present with your life. Wow. Whenever I do that, I see how much more there is. That my life is not limited to the labels that my mind creates. There is the birds, the breath, the heart beating. There is Sangha, near and far. There's those tiny touches that make up this sensation I call body. And there's the capacity to experience. And perhaps just that capacity is what we call love, kindness, the ability to recognize, to see, to hear, to smell, to taste. As we begin this Sesshin themed around loving kindness, notice your heart. And Chosen Roshi has this practice called drop into the heart. And I encourage you to notice. So often our attention is in the thinking mind. And so when we sit down to meditate, we tend to meditate from the head, aware from the head. It's where the senses are. It's where our brain is. But what is it like? This is a very interesting, intimate investigation. What is it like to experience including the heart or from the heart? To breathe, to hear, to listen. And is it different than how you usually meditate? like to encourage during this session that you can use the mudra of placing your hands on your hearts at any time, just to connect to the heart center. What is it like to feel, to breathe, to experience from the heart? What is it like to hold the heart? And perhaps in truth, the heart that we are learning to listen to listen from, is not located in the chest. But I feel like it offers a lot to include this part of the body. Perhaps a part that is often tender, a part that contains some tension or a lot of feeling. As we learn to listen this session, we're moving towards inclusivity, allowing, companioning our experience. Please let your practice stay simple to start. It takes a while to settle. Be kind and gentle and patient with yourself. Every moment an opportunity to allow, an opportunity to listen, and perhaps to discover what love is, what it feels like to live your life from the inside.